Howdy, you beautiful Bayou Bandits. This video is going to give you guys 9 amazing tips to make you the best teammate in Hunt Showdown 1896. Whether you're playing randoms or pre-made teams, it doesn't matter. This information is going to help you out a ton. And I can promise you that the last tip is going to be more than worth the wait. Something you guys need to know because you guys are all doing it incorrectly and it is hurting your team ultimately over the long run. I also have 2 exciting announcements for you guys and this channel going forward. And the first one being that I am now a partner for the new upcoming game Hunger. So if you guys want to see any gameplay guides or just informative information or entertaining content on that game going forward, as well as Hunt Showdown, then make sure you are subscribing down below. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss any uploads when they do go live. This will be the absolute best channel when it comes to both of those games and coverage over it. So make sure you guys are here for the ride. The second announcement being that the long-awaited one-on-one coaching program from me is now live. Down below in the description or the pinned comment will take you to my Fiverr, which offers 3 different tiers, and all of them are going to offer something unique for every one of you guys. So if you are serious about taking your game to the next level and learning as much as you can from me, somebody who's played the game for a very long time and knows a lot about the game, then look no further than my one-on-one coaching program. If you don't like the price and you want a little cheaper, you can check out my Patreon or my YouTube channel membership program, where I do offer cheaper prices for the coaching. However, it is a monthly subscription. If you want the best way to support me in this content creation journey, then Patreon, YouTube channel membership program, or the Stream Elements tipping link in the description will be the best 3 ways to do that for you guys. If you guys don't want coaching but would like to ask a few questions or have a few tips told to you live, then come over to my Twitch or my YouTube Wednesday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. EST. It's always a great time, and yes, you guys should definitely come by and say hi. With all of that being said, if you've gained any value, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for all of the support, no matter what it is, even if it's just a like. And a special thank you to all my patrons up on screen now. Without your guys' support, this might not be possible, so thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. With that being said, let's get into the tips, and I'll see you in the bayou. So the first tip I have is that you guys need to make sure you are coordinating each other's loadouts. Before you even get into the game, you should make sure that if both of your teammates have shotguns, that you are not taking a sniper. Unless you want to do the insane strategy of having 2 in and 1 out, meaning 2 of your teammates are in the boss lair with the token, and then 1 is outside with the sniper trying to pick off people. That can work sometimes, but most of the time, that's not what your intentions are going to be as a team. You're going to want to stick together. So make sure your loadouts are compatible. If both of your teammates want to run snipers, it's probably not going to be the best for you to have a shotgun and run into the lair by yourself. Something else to make compatible loadouts between your teammates is that you don't all need utility traits, meaning something like Witness, probably don't need. 1 person on your team can have it, the other 2 can save the upgrade points and spend it on something else. Obviously, Witness allows you to go in dark sight and see downed enemy hunters and recently killed grunts, and it is a solid trait overall, not just to find other enemy hunters on the ground, but to heal yourself when you're standing over them. But I would say that you should probably not all have it at the same time. In my opinion, traits like Witness and Vigilant, more utility traits, you probably don't need to be using if your other teammates have it, because 1 person can spend the points on it and have it to be able to scout ahead and see or give any information to all of the team. But if everyone on the team has it, that's probably just wasted upgrade points. Like I said earlier, if 2 of your teammates are taking shotguns, maybe you don't want to take a shotgun, and that's fine, but don't put a scope on your gun. Try to take a loadout that has some range to it, but not too much to where it's keeping you away from your teammates, who will inevitably be closer to the enemies and in their faces. It just doesn't make sense to split you guys up. Play as a team and have a compatible loadout. The next tip is going to be bringing utilities for your teammate. So we already talked about the traits and how you should disperse them out to make sure that somebody has one of the utility traits, but not everybody, so it's not wasting upgrade points. But let's talk about the tools and consumables that I think you guys should be bringing for your team. First off, let me talk about the ammo box. I think that this is probably the most important. Some people's loadouts don't have a lot of ammo and they run through it very quickly. If only 1 person on the team is bringing an ammo box, that is way better than nobody at all having anything like that to restock any ammo. Sometimes the supply points, arsenals, or just random ammo boxes are too far and not in your sight, and it can be nice to have a handy ammo box on one of you or your teammates. If you guys have a lot of money, I definitely recommend somebody taking a recovery shot. This is going to allow you to take it and get one of your health bars back after you have lost one. So if one of your teammates get down, the person who had the recovery shot can lend it to them, and then everyone on the team is going to be full 150 HP, and they won't be susceptible to dying to one shot from any of the regular rifles. Two other considerations for consumable slots can be the toolbox or the med pack. Both of those can help you in different situations. Obviously, the toolbox is going to resupply one of your tools or the consumable slots that your teammates don't have, but the med pack is going to give the ability for your whole team to get 100 HP from just looting it, which is very, very nice. In my opinion, it's underrated. Not a lot of people take the med pack. If one person takes a med pack, that can change the swing of the fight, in my opinion, a good amount. And then lastly, for tools, I would say that at least one person should be taking fusees or a flare pistol. You want to be able to make sure that your team can ignite downed hunters. And I know this isn't a big tip for a lot of people. I'm just throwing it in there and reminding people that might be newer or not bringing them in general. So the fusees and flare pistols are very, very good to ignite the downed hunters, to get the other teams to push towards you and initiate more of the fight when you have one down already. It can be very, very nice. And I assume most people are already doing this, so this isn't like brand new news, but it is still something to remind you and to tell you that you probably should have one person bare minimum taking fusees or a flare pistol. The third tip might seem like an obvious one, but a lot of people actually don't do it. When you're bringing in traps in a team, it can very easily lead to one of your teammates dying because you didn't call them out. So this tip is to say that everybody in the team should understand that if anyone is putting even a bear trap they didn't bring into the game down on the ground, that they need to call it out and make sure that everyone understands where they placed it. It's usually a good thing to make sure you're not in the general area of these traps so you don't accidentally forget and then walk in them in the heat of the moment. But a lot of people just completely forget to even tell their teammates that they're putting down traps, and then it turns into a big and annoying argument when you have to say, hey dude, what is this? Why are they here? You didn't tell us. Oh yeah, well you should just look at your feet. Like, all of that can fly. I understand people should be looking at their feet, but at the end of the day, if it's your own teammates putting the traps down and you're dying to them because they didn't tell you, that is a very, very bad thing to do within a team. The fourth tip is something that I struggle with a lot when I play in teams, because I normally play solo and I'm always trying to analyze the situation and try and 1v1 people, even if it means getting up close and personal. But this tip is to not push alone. If you're playing in a team, the only time you should be pushing alone is if everybody agrees that it's a good play, or you're on the fly and there's only like one or two up and they're all pretty low and you need to apply some pressure maybe on a different angle than your other two teammates. Other than that, you should be next to your teammates. You should be pushing together as a team. Like I said earlier about the communication, it should be A1. You guys should all be talking about your movements when you're pushing, what you're seeing, and all of that. But this is definitely a very bad thing that a lot of players do within teams, especially randoms, since they don't have that communication dialed in like they should. This can often lead to the downfall of the whole team because one person is instantly going in there and dying, and it's probably a 3v2 now instead of a nice 3v3 or a 3v2 in your favor. Make sure there's not a full trio when you are pushing in by yourself, that your teammates know about it, and that you guys are all on the same page. You can't be Rambo and get away with it, only I can. So yes, make sure you're not pushing by yourself when you're playing with teams. The fifth one is going to be a very, very controversial one, and probably going to be one of the hardest ones for you guys to actually do. And that is to not backseat. When you die in this game, your teammates need to be able to hear what is going on, because Hunt Showdown is so important when it comes to the sound. The sound design in the game is so amazing. It's very easy to hear when someone is crouching if there isn't a lot going on. However, it could be completely silent. There could be somebody crouching around the corner. Your teammate's the last one up, but since you are being a little annoying and yelling in their ear of how you died, and you're explaining way too much and you don't need to, just calm down, be quiet, and let them play. The only time you should be talking to your teammates after you died is if you need to tell them who you got killed by, the general direction, or anything like that, but make it concise and to the point. If they're asking you questions or genuinely don't see something on their screen that should be alerting to you or them, then sure, don't be afraid to tell them. But other than that, you should be completely silent after you die. Let them assess the situation and then wait until you are back into the fight before you start making the callouts that aren't really necessary. Also, this is very hard for a lot of people because they always feel like they are better than people that they're playing with, and they always have to point and yell in their face, tell them where to go. Don't be that player. If you're playing with somebody who's noticeably worse than you, then just chill out a little bit. Understand that we were all at that place at some point. and just let them learn at their own pace when you are completely dead. Other than that, try to explain to them after the game or ask them, hey, would you like me yelling in your face? Would you like me telling you everything to do when you die? Chances are most of them are not gonna like it. I know I personally freaking hate it, and I don't think I've met anybody who's told me, yes, just yell at me, tell me what to do, it doesn't matter. Okay, maybe like one person, but other than that, it's not very common. So don't backseat. The sixth tip I have is going to be checking the boss color when your team is fighting the boss. If you don't know, when you're fighting the boss and you hold E, the top left over the boss icon, it will pulsate in white or red. If it's white, that means that there is no other enemy team within 50 meters of the boss lair while the boss is alive. If it is red, then that means that there is an enemy team approaching within 50 meters of that boss lair. It might sound like an obvious one, but in my time of playing Hunt, there's been a lot of times where I've played with teams and they haven't called out the boss color while I was busy fighting the boss. In my opinion, 2 people on the team should be fighting the boss at least at all time, while 1 person is checking the boss color and maybe looking out on the outside of the compound. It's not a bad thing to have everybody fighting the boss to get it down as quick as possible, and then just having 1 person back off of the boss after they've taken a couple swings to check the color of the boss and make sure that it is not red. Once it turns red, you're gonna wanna make sure as a team that you guys are assessing the situation, trying to get off of the boss if it has a lot of health, so you can make sure that you're not going to get ambushed and not see anything or hear anything. But if the boss is very low, then it might be a good idea, you guys have good melees, just to keep fighting the boss, kill it, and then wait for the team to push in. But overall, this is something that a good chunk of people actually don't do. They'll go into the boss and check it once when they go in, and then they forget to when they are fighting the boss, which can ultimately lead to your whole team getting wiped pretty easily or ambushed, and it's all for nothing. So make sure you are checking the boss color as a team. The 7th tip is that you guys need to take choke bombs. They're easy, affordable. You get 2 of them. It's not that big of a deal. Just sacrifice one of your tool slots. I know you can go up to your teammate and press interact while they are burning, and it will get rid of the fire, but a lot of times it's not ideal for you to go out in the open and press interact on them or fake a revive so that the fire goes away. Even though you can memorize the cocoon spawns for the beetles, it's not always going to be easy to get to one before your teammate can inevitably burn out. Choke bombs can be especially very good if you're throwing it on the other side of them, allowing it to kind of blur the vision of the person camping them, so then when you ultimately do revive them, they have a harder shot, so that can be very good as well. And chokes are just overall a solid utility, in my opinion, unless you're very confident and not going to get upset when you burn out, which inevitably you will burn a lot when you die. If you're not in the best spot when you die in a team, you're probably going to burn out if your teammates don't have chokes. So in my opinion, make sure you're bringing chokes between everyone in the team. The 8th tip kind of plays into what I was just talking about with the revives, and this is to not farm your teammates. Make sure you are asking if they want a revive, if they're in a good spot to be revived even. All of that should be in the communication of your team, and inevitably will result you in a higher chance of getting a good revive on your teammates and them getting back into the fight. This will go hand in hand with the 9th tip that I have for you guys, and I will talk about that in a quick second. But yes, you guys need to stop farming your teammates. Don't res them if they're in a completely terrible spot and you can't get around to get them. If you're using necromancer or something like that, don't be behind cover, use your necro on them, and then they're just in the worst spot ever and they can't get up and back into the fight. Like I said earlier, sometimes that can work out where they are just a meat shield and a mere distraction for you to then get a nice shot, but most times it doesn't work. It's just going to end up getting your teammates red skulled or losing most of their health. And the 9th and final tip in this video is that you guys are body blocking your teammates completely wrong. You're leaving them out in the dust to be shot and killed once again. And I will explain and show you the right way to body block somebody. Now, it doesn't work every single time, of course. If the person corpse camping your teammate is competent or has a good shot, then there's chances that you probably won't be able to body block them, and it's inevitable that they will get them down again. But this can increase your chances to revive your teammate and have them stay in the fight versus getting knocked back down. This is the example. Let me explain it very quickly. When you are reviving your teammate, most people, when they get up, will start doing something like this. They'll turn around, look at the enemy, and they'll strafe back and forth, which gives the enemy a pretty easy shot on your teammate. In my opinion, you should be doing something like this. focus right in front of your teammate and spam back and forth and do this whole movement. And I'm telling you, it'll be a lot harder for the enemies to start hitting your teammate when they get up, and then you can make a way out or anything like that. That, in my opinion, is a very, very bad thing that a lot of people do, and it gets their teammates killed probably close to like 70% of the time that they're reviving them. They suck at body blocking, and that is the last tip. So yeah, let me know if you guys do that correctly, or if you kind of leave your teammates out on an island after you revive them. But that is the 9 team play tips. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys enjoyed this, or if you didn't know some of these, and what your guys' team play tips or ideas are as well. If you enjoy any of this content, then leave a like and subscribe for more. There will be more where this came from, so definitely stick around for that. If you guys are new to the game or just want to see a great beginner loadout in Hunt Showdown, then click on this video right here. That is going to get you set up with a great beginner loadout. It's going to cover all grounds for you, somebody who's new to the bayou. That being said, I appreciate you guys watching till the end, and I'll see you in the bayou.